And now on to part two. Thanks for having Elizabeth as our guest uh, in our last lecture. But this time she's going to do something else, and I'm going to just finish this one up with you. All right, so another problem. A equals 9, B equals 13.9, and A is equal to 24 degrees. And they say, go and figure it out. Well, if you notice again, side angle, and my A is smaller than B, and so I'm expecting it to be two solutions. Okay, this is my 9, or this is my 9, and this is my 24 degrees, and my fixed 13.9. Okay, I like to think of this as like a swinging circle pendulum thingy. I guess you can make it a circle because it's like a radius of 9. But where's the circle colliding with this line, right, as it goes out? Twice. And it makes the isosceles triangle. However you want to kind of see it. Again, though, we definitely have two different answers. So this will be my first B1, and then this over here would be my B2. Again, because I got two different triangles. Let me just draw, I guess, here. So we got the big triangle, right? And then I'm going to do a green for the little triangle here. That's my B2. Okay, so let's get on it. I'm going to start, of course, with finding just my B1, which is normal here. We've already done this a whole lot. I'm gonna set it up this once more, but in the end, I figure that you already got this down. Here, let me just erase that. This is not very hard mathematical problems. It is kind of confusing about where to start, or how do I know I got two answers, and all that kind of stuff. But the actual process of getting the math solved is it's not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to multiply that to the other side, arc sine. Again, I'm writing this out this time, but I think in the end we can probably just skip ahead on some of this stuff. Okay, awesome. Calculator, and I'm just going to give you what I have in my notes here, 38.916. It's good enough for now. All right, so that's my B1 for sure. You're always going to get B1 first. To get B2, you're going to say 180 minus B1. And so in this particular case, I get the 141.084 rounded. Yeah, okay. Cool. Now, again, we're going to have two separate problems going forward now. So I need to find C1. And so in order to do that, I do the 180 rule. 180 minus the 24 minus the 38.916. And C2 is the same 180 rule. 24 minus the 141.084. Again, I'm just going to give you the answers from my notes here. I've got the 117.084. And then over here, I have the 14.916. And there you go. Cool. Do you know? Oh, that degree symbol is just not very happy today. Do you notice 084, 084, 916, 916? It's supposed to happen. It's all part of the math. Okay, so define little c. We've already done this a whole bunch of times. I'm going to say it's sine of the 117.084 divided by, and then sine of a over a, so sine of 24 divided by 9. And this time I got 19.7008. That was C1. C2, same thing. I'm just replacing this 117 with the 14. So I'm just going to do similar. can't see that, but similar. And I got 5.6957. Yeah, that's good enough. There you go. And there you go. There's your two different answers there. Whew. All right. So law of sines, there's still a little bit more we got going on ahead. But law of sines, it really is not that hard. You got to plug it into the right formula at the right time. But the more and more you do it, the better and better you'll get. So the next one is asking for area of a triangle. And they even give you a formula. It says 1/2 B times C times the sine of A. And thankfully, they give us all of those numbers. So A, B, and C. How do you find the area? You plug it in. Make sure that your calculator's in degree mode, etc., blah, blah, blah. 283.194. Super, super easy stuff there. And this is like units squared. I don't know what unit we're talking about. Feet, miles, meters, inches. Doesn't really matter. So there we go. There's your formula. There's what you do. Keep on cruising. So the next problems are kind of like word problems, or they're tricky problems. And sometimes I use law of sines. Sometimes I don't, actually. So let's do this thing. I have this triangle with a triangle inside. So I got 55 degrees here. This is 24. And then this distance here is the 258. And they're saying find H. Okay. So I could use law of sines, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say that this is X, and I'm going to start using tangents. So this is 90 degrees, by the way, so I could start using sine, cosine, and tangent like I had been in the previous chapters. And so I'm going to use tangent of the 55 is equal to H over X. So I'm just looking right here at this triangle. But then I could say tangent of the 24 is equal to H over 258 plus X. And so that's this big triangle here. Okay. And now what I have is two equations, two unknowns, solve. So what I'm going to do is actually solve for H by moving this over here. So H is equal to X times the tangent of 55. And then I can take that and plug that in right there. So in the end, I have a tangent 24 is equal to X times the tangent of the 55 all over 258 plus X. Solve for X. Of course, to do this, I'm going to multiply this to the other side. Then I have a tangent of the 24 is equal to X times tangent of 55. There's a lot of things you can do, but I'm going to distribute, and because I just think that's going to be easier in the end. But you can do whatever you like. There are definitely different ways to do this problem. And you could definitely do this problem with law of sines, like the lesson is kind of indicating. But you know how I don't like to follow the rules. So there we go. I'm going to move this tangent X thing over, and then I'm going to factor that X out. So I've got X tangent 55. It's like this stylus, it's working a little better than it was on a non-recorded recording. Like the recording got like corrupted and lost from earlier, and it was just not working. And then in part one, it was working pretty good, but right now it's feeling a little sluggish. Anyways, so this is equal to this. I'm going to divide this to the other side, and that's my answer for X. The thing is, and what I did wrong in class when I taught this, was that I just stopped here. I said, oh, we solved for X, we're done. Nope, we got to find H. That was the original idea. And so can you remind me to actually solve for h here in just a second? Why is it 21? Is it 24? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I solved for h, and I got 116.865. That's nice, but that's not my answer. I now need to find h, which is x times the tangent of 55. Again, all of this is calculator. And so I actually get a 166.9007. There you go. There's my actual h value. Cool. Let's do another one. And then another, and then another. Yep, there's a lot of these guys. So I've got two triangles here. Again, this is a right triangle, and I got this coming down like that. Okay, let me try that again. That's better. And so I have an x. I'm going to make a y. I think it's just solve for x on this case. And I have a 110. So this is x, by the way. I'm just going to remind you, this is y right here. Okay. And then I have here is a 20. And then here's a 19. I have a 125 in the bottom. They say solve for x. Okay. Well, we can do this. So I'm going to see this as, again, two different triangles. If I take the smaller triangle, this is a y, this is my 20, this is a 125, and if I use tangent, that would put all these things together. It doesn't look like a right triangle. Anyways, and then I got the bigger triangle. Again, this is like the bigger one, and this is the smaller one right here. Let me try to make that look a little bit better. There we go. So if you combine those two angles, it's not 19, it's actually 39. And then this is x plus y for the total distance, and this is a 125. And so then I've got tangent of the 39 is equal to x plus y all over 125. So you can solve for y and then plug it in, solve for x. I'm going to do that, move it over, there's my y, plug that in. So I've got now a tangent of the 39 degrees. It's equal to x plus, and this is that 125 tangent of 20 right here. Then divided by the 125. So solve for x is actually super easy. So multiply this over, move it to the other side. So then I actually got 125 tangent 39 minus 125 tangent 20. Calculator answer. And I got 55.726. There we go. Cool. I have 1, 2, 3 more problems left. They're kind of small ones, actually. Okay. Almost there. 7, 1, 47. So I've got a triangle here, and it's not isosceles. It just kind of looks that way when I draw it. This is a 35 degrees, and this is a 30 degrees. And they say find this distance right here. So that line over there, that's too far away. I don't like that. Just find this distance right here on the inside, given that I have a 13 down here. Okay, so this is a fire problem, something about firefighters or stations or something, and they spot a fire, and it's this way and that way, and how far away is it? That kind of thing. So they're using bearing to find these. So this would be like north 35 east, and this is north 30 west. But I'm just basically just drawing what it should look like once you start getting that going. Okay. Well, if you notice, we actually have this is supposed to be 90 with this north, and this is straight east-west. And so to find these angles on the inside, we're going to do 90 minus those amounts. So 90 minus the 35 is 55. Then here I've got 90 minus 30 is 60. So how do I find this angle here is the 180 rule. So 180 minus the 55 minus the 60. And for this angle, I got 65. So using this and the 13 together, we can find D if I'm going opposite of that A, which is that 55. So here we go. So sine of the 55, that's my A, over D, or A, or whatever it would be in this case. And I've got sine of the 65 for the fire divided by 13. It's opposite. Multiply, divide, calculator. We've done all this stuff before. And yet, I'm still writing it out for you because I like you. Thank you for watching. Calculator, blah, 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 and I got 11.7498. Okay, cool. Next one, 7.152. I'm calling this the tree problem, but I mean, it has nothing to do with trees in the end. Because you could just look at this problem and kind of do it on your own. They're wanting the height of this tree. If this is a tree, I didn't draw down the tree or nothing. That's a 76 degrees. This is 84. And then they have two little angles here, 18 degrees. And this is a 65 degrees. Not so tiny, I guess. So find H. Well, this angle right here is pretty easy to find. It's the 180 rule. And so, subtract everything from it. Here we go. I got 21. Cool. Using that, I could find H by doing the opposite here. So this will be sine of the 21 all over 84 is equal to sine of, what is this thing here? 65 and 18 makes, well, 18 and 65. I didn't actually find it on my notes. I just kind of wrote that down. All over H. Solve for H, multiply, divide. I mean, we've done this so many times now. 232.6488. There you go. One last problem. And the last one is a GeoGebra problem. It's got to be so weird. So I'm calling this GeoGebra number 16 because it's the 16 one on your homework. So there's this triangle that they give you, and I'm just going to try to explain it. There's like these two big solid dots here, and then they have some like fixed angle. Here I have a 40. And what you do, or what they're wanting is to make the triangle have an area that's equal to 15. So you can move these. If you move this one around, it moves the whole triangle. But if you move this, it only goes in and out. Okay. So what I do is I move this triangle up so that it's flat like this. There's your 40. And there was another. That was it, actually. Yeah. And I just make sure that I pick some whole numbers. And so what I did is I picked this one here to be a 5. So like I basically drag this around, I'm dragging around until I get it flat, and then I have a 5 there, or a 4, or a 6, or some kind of whole number to make it easy. And then what I do is I change this one. I swing this one back and forth in order to get the rest of the numbers to work. So how do we get this area? The area, 15 in this particular case, is equal to 1/2 B times C times sine of A. And so let's call that B, and let's call this C, and that's my A. And so I've got 5C, and then sine of the 40. I need to solve for C, essentially, because I know that the area must be 15, but I have to slide this back and forth in order to get the right number there. So what I do is I take all this and divide, and take this and divide, and I find out what C is supposed to be. C is supposed to be. You didn't catch that? Okay, I was just being funny. I got 9.3343. This is about what it should be in order to get that to 15. So like 9.3. So you just move this thing in and out until you get a 9.3. And so my final triangle would probably look a lot more like this. I got a 5, 9.3. This is that 40 degrees they gave me. And then you say check it. It says great, and then you're done. Okay, so it's a little weird. I know. Once you do it, though, you'll understand. So that's all I got. Thank you very much, and have a great day.